I helped because Mom asked me to help. I also helped because I believed that family is more important than money. But today was different. Today you hurt my daughter. You made her feel small in front of everyone. I looked at Rachel. She was standing beside me very quietly. Her eyes were shiny with tears, but she was trying hard not to cry. My heart hurt when I saw her. Lily looked nervous. For the first time all day, she did not look proud or important. Instead, she looked worried. "Vanessa, please," she said softly. "We are family." I nodded. "Yes, we are family. But families should treat each other with kindness." The room was silent. Nobody laughed anymore. Nobody smiled anymore. All the guests were looking at Lily. A few people whispered to each other. Some guests looked uncomfortable. Others stared at the floor. Daniel looked nervous too. Sweat was on his forehead. He kept looking around as if he wanted to run away. Lily turned to him. "Daniel," she said. "Tell them she is wrong." Daniel opened his mouth. Then he closed it again. He did not say a single word. That silence told everyone the truth. Lily slowly sat down in a chair. She looked shocked. Her face was pale. For years, she had acted like everything in her life was perfect. Now everyone could see that it was not. My mother rushed over to her. "Oh dear," Mom whispered. Lily suddenly began to cry. Big tears rolled down her cheeks. She covered her face with her hands. The room felt very different now. Just a few minutes ago, everyone had been talking about expensive vacations, fancy clothes, and huge houses. Now nobody cares about those things. The truth had changed everything. One woman quietly picked up her handbag. "I think I should leave," she said. Another guest nodded. "Me too." Soon more people started leaving. The party was ending. The beautiful decorations were still hanging from the ceiling. The crystal lights still sparkled. The music was still playing softly. But the feeling in the room had changed completely. Rachel tugged gently on my sleeve. "Mom," she asked. "Yes, sweetheart?" "Why is Aunt Lily crying?" I knelt beside her. "Because she is having a very hard day." Rachel looked across the room. "Is she sad?" "Yes." Rachel thought for a moment. Then she said something that surprised me. "I don't want her to be sad." Even after Lily had embarrassed her, Rachel still cared about her. That was the kind of child she was. She was kind. She was caring. She always tried to see the good in people. I wrapped my arms around her. "You have a very good heart," I told her. A few minutes later, Lily slowly stood up. She wiped her eyes. Then she walked toward us. Everyone watched. Lily stopped in front of Rachel. For a few seconds, she did not say anything. Then she took a deep breath. "Rachel," she said quietly. "Yes, Aunt Lily?" "I'm sorry." Rachel blinked. "For what?" Lily looked down. "For being mean to you." Rachel seemed confused. "You were mean to me?" Several adults nearby looked embarrassed. Children often see things differently than adults. Rachel had felt hurt, but she had not spent time thinking about how mean Lily had been. Lily nodded slowly. "Yes, I was." Then she looked at Rachel's blue dress. The same dress she had ignored earlier. "It is a beautiful dress," Lily said. Rachel smiled. "Thank you. It's my favorite dress." Lily smiled a little. It was not one of her usual fake smiles. This smile was real. Then she suddenly remembered something. "The gift," she said. She hurried over to the gift table. Boxes and bags were piled everywhere. After searching for a minute, she found Rachel's small gift bag. Carefully she opened it. Inside was the bracelet. It was simple. It was not expensive. But it had been chosen with love. Lily stared at it for a long time. Then fresh tears filled her eyes. I stepped closer. Rachel saved her allowance for 3 months to buy that bracelet. Lily looked at Rachel. "You did." Rachel nodded proudly. "I wanted you to have something special." Lily's lips trembled. Slowly, she put the bracelet on her wrist. "It is beautiful," she whispered. Rachel's whole face lit up. "You really like it?" "I really do." And this time everyone knew she was telling the truth. The bracelet was not valuable because of money. It was valuable because it came from love. Many of the expensive gifts on the table had probably cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But none of them seemed as important as Rachel's small bracelet. My mother wiped away tears. She looked at Rachel. Then she looked at me. "I think I forgot what really matters," she said quietly. "What do you mean?" I asked. Mom smiled sadly. "I spent so many years admiring money and success." She looked around the room. "I thought those things made people important." Then she pointed gently toward Rachel. "But kindness is more important." Rachel looked up. "Kindness?" Mom nodded. "Yes, kindness." Rachel smiled. "I like kindness." That made everyone laugh softly. The tension in the room started to fade. For the first time that day, things felt peaceful. After a while, most of the guests had gone home. Only the family remained. The giant house suddenly felt much quieter. The fancy decorations did not seem as impressive anymore. Without all the guests, it was just a house. A very big house. But still just a house. Lily sat at the dining table. She looked tired. "I'm very tired." Daniel sat beside her. Neither of them spoke much. Finally, Lily looked at him. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked. Daniel stared at the table. "I didn't want you to worry. But everything was falling apart. I thought I could fix it." Lily shook her head. "You should have told me the truth." Daniel nodded. "I know." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Lily looked at me. "I spent years trying to impress people." I said nothing. She continued. "I wanted everyone to think I had the perfect life." Her voice became softer. "But I wasn't happy." The room became quiet again. Sometimes the truth is hard to say. And sometimes it is even harder to hear. The next morning, the foreclosure process continued. The banks still took the house. The financial problems did not disappear overnight. Real life does not work that way. There was no magic solution. There was no miracle. Lily and Daniel had to face the consequences of their choices. Over the next few weeks, they packed their belongings. They sold many expensive things. Fancy furniture. Expensive artwork. Designer clothes. Things they once thought were important. Eventually, they moved into a much smaller home. It was not a mansion. It did not have crystal chandeliers. It did not have huge staircases. It did not have servants. But it was enough. At first, Lily struggled. She missed her old life. She missed showing off. She missed people admiring her. But slowly something changed. Without all the expensive things around her, she started paying attention to other things. She noticed simple moments. Family dinners. Conversations with friends. Walks in the park. Reading books. Helping others. Little things she had ignored for years. One Saturday afternoon, she called me. "Would you and Rachel like to visit?" I was surprised. But I said yes. When we arrived, Rachel ran to the door. Lily opened it. The small house looked warm and welcoming. There were flowers by the window. Pictures on the walls. The smell of cookies baking in the kitchen. Rachel smiled. "It feels cozy." Lily laughed. "I think so too." We spent the afternoon together. We talked. We laughed. We played board games. For the first time in many years, being around Lily felt easy. There was no competition. No showing off. No rude comments. Just family spending time together. At one point, Rachel noticed something. "Aunt Lily." "What is it?" Lily asked. Rachel pointed excitedly. "The bracelet." Lily looked at her wrist. The bracelet was still there. She wore it every day. "You kept it?" Rachel asked. "Of course I did." Rachel smiled. "You must really like it." Lily gently touched the bracelet. "It reminds me of something important." "What?" Lily looked at her. "It reminds me that love matters more than money." Rachel thought about that. Then she nodded. "I think that's true." Lily smiled. "It is true." As the months passed, things slowly improved. Not because they became rich again, but because they became happier. Daniel found honest work. Lily volunteered at a community center. She helped children with reading and art projects. People liked her because she was kind, not because she had money. One day, after helping children paint pictures, Lily called me. "You know something?" she said. "What?" "I think I am happier now than when I was in the mansion." I smiled. "Really? Really? Why?" She laughed softly. "Because now people like me for who I am." That was a lesson she had taken a long time to learn. Money can buy many things. It can buy houses. It can buy jewelry. It can buy fancy cars. It can buy expensive clothes. But it cannot buy kindness. It cannot buy respect. It cannot buy real friendship. And it cannot buy real love. Those things come from the heart. A year later, our whole family gathered for another birthday celebration. This time it was much smaller. No giant mansion. No fancy decorations. No crowd of important people. Just family. There was pizza. There was cake. There were balloons. Everyone laughed together. And everyone seemed happy. At one point, Rachel sat beside Lily. "Are you happy now?" Rachel asked. Lily smiled. "Yes." "Happier than before?" "Much happier." Rachel grinned. "Good." Then she hugged her aunt. Lily hugged her back. For a moment, nobody spoke. Everyone simply watched. Because that hug meant something special. It meant forgiveness. It meant family. It meant a fresh start. I looked around the room. There was no mansion. There were no crystal chandeliers. There were no wealthy guests. But there was love. And in the end, that was worth far more than all the money in the world. That day, everyone learned the same lesson. Being rich is not about how much money you have. Being rich is about having people who care about you. People who stand beside you when life becomes difficult. People who forgive your mistakes. People who love you no matter what. And that kind of wealth can never be taken away. I walked over to Rachel and gently put my hand on her shoulder. Then I looked at Lily. "But you just asked my daughter, your niece, to clean up after your party like she was a worker," I said. "You said it in front of everyone because we don't have as much money as you." The room became very quiet. Everyone was listening. I shook my head sadly. "So no, Lily. I'm not helping this time. The house will be taken by the bank tomorrow, just like planned." Lily looked shocked. For a moment she didn't say anything. Then her eyes filled with tears. "Please," she whispered. Her voice sounded weak and scared. Where will we live? I took a deep breath. I don't know, I answered honestly. Maybe you can rent an apartment. Maybe you can stay with Mom for a while. Lily stared at me. I could tell she was not used to hearing the word no. For many years people had helped her whenever she got into trouble. But this time was different. Maybe this will help you learn what real hard work is, I said. Maybe you'll understand how difficult life can be when you can't depend on family money. Daniel suddenly stepped forward. He looked angry. His face turned red. You are being cruel, he started to say. I looked directly at him. Be careful, I said calmly. He stopped talking. I know several lawyers who are dealing with your legal problems. If you keep talking, I might tell them about every secret account and every hidden piece of money you've been trying to protect. Daniel froze. He didn't move. The room became completely silent. Nobody wanted to say a word. Some of Lily's friends slowly moved toward the door. They looked uncomfortable. They clearly wanted to leave before things got worse. My mother looked like she might faint. She could hardly believe what was happening. Finally, Lily wiped tears from her eyes. You should leave, she said quietly. We're leaving, I replied. Then I looked at Rachel. Come on, sweetheart. Rachel picked up the gift bag she had brought for Lily. The gift was still inside. Lily had never even bothered to open it. Together, Rachel and I walked toward the front door. Just before we reached it, my mother called out, Vanessa. I turned around. How could you do this to your own sister? She asked. I stopped walking. Then I faced her. How could I? I repeated. Mom, I've spent years helping Lily every time she makes a mistake. I've given her chance after chance after chance. I pointed gently toward Rachel. But tonight she crossed a line. My voice became firmer. No one gets to embarrass my daughter. I looked around the room. Not even family. After that, there was nothing more to say. Rachel and I left the mansion. Outside, the cool evening air felt refreshing. We walked across the driveway and got into our simple Honda Civic. The car wasn't fancy. It wasn't expensive. But it was ours. As I started the engine, Rachel looked at me. Mom. Yes, sweetheart. Is Aunt Lily really losing her house? Yes. Rachel thought for a moment. Because Uncle Daniel made bad choices? Yes. She sat quietly for a few seconds. Then she asked another question. Could you have stopped it? I glanced at her. I could have delayed it, I admitted. I could have helped them stay there for a few more months. Rachel looked surprised. But you're not going to? No. Because of what Aunt Lily said to me? Partly, I admitted. I wanted to be honest with my daughter. Her words hurt me because they hurt you. Rachel nodded. But that's not the only reason. Then why? She asked. Because sometimes people need to learn that actions have consequences. Rachel listened carefully. When people treat others badly, sooner or later they have to face the results of their choices. I smiled softly. Family isn't about money, big houses, or looking important. What is it about? Rachel asked. It's about love, respect, kindness, helping each other when times are hard. Rachel nodded slowly. Then she asked another question. Is Grandma angry with you? I laughed a little. Probably. Will Aunt Lily be okay? Eventually, yes. But she lost everything. Not everything, I said. She still has her family. She still has a chance to start over. Sometimes people have to lose something important before they understand what truly matters. The rest of the drive home was quiet. Then Rachel suddenly smiled. Mom. Yes. I'm glad we're not rich like Aunt Lily. That made me smile. Me too, baby. The next morning, my phone rang 3 different times. The first call was from my mother. She left a very long message about family loyalty. The second call was from Lily. She was crying and begging me to help. The third call came from my boss at the bank. He confirmed that the foreclosure had happened exactly as scheduled. The mansion officially no longer belonged to Lily and Daniel. I deleted my mother's voicemail. I didn't listen to all of it. I let Lily's call go to voicemail. Then I spoke with my boss. Everything had been handled properly. Everything had followed the rules. After that, I decided to spend the day with Rachel. We went to our favorite diner for pancakes. It was a small place. Nothing fancy. The tables were simple. The chairs were old. But the people there were kind. Everyone knew each other's names. Nobody cared about expensive clothes. Nobody cared about who had the biggest house. People simply treated one another with respect. As we ate breakfast, Rachel smiled and laughed. Seeing her happy reminded me that I had made the right choice. That evening, Rachel walked into the living room carrying the gift she had bought for Lily. It was still wrapped. I still want to give this to Aunt Lily someday, she said. I looked at her. When? When she's ready to say she's sorry. My heart filled with pride. That was a very mature thing for a child to say. That's very thoughtful, sweetheart. You always tell me that people deserve second chances. I do. But they have to earn them first, Rachel said. I smiled. Exactly right. Months passed. Life continued. Eventually I heard that Lily and Daniel had moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment across town. It was much smaller than their mansion. Daniel found a job at a smaller law firm. Because his reputation had been damaged, it was the best job he could get. Lily got a job working in a retail store. For the first time in her life, she had to work long hours helping customers. At first she struggled, but slowly she learned. My mother didn't speak to me for 2 months. When she finally called, her voice sounded different. She was calmer. She wasn't yelling anymore. She didn't apologize. But she sounded more respectful. 6 months later, I received a text message from Lily. It was short. It said, "I'm sorry for everything. I understand if you can't forgive me." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I put my phone down. Some hurts take time to heal. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. When Rachel's 11th birthday arrived, I made a decision. I sent Lily an invitation. The party was small and simple. There was pizza. There was cake. There were family members and close friends. No fancy decorations. No expensive entertainment. Just people enjoying each other's company. Lily came. She looked different. Not because of her clothes. Not because of her hairstyle. She looked different because she seemed humbler. She brought Rachel a gift. It wasn't expensive. It was simply a book that Rachel had mentioned wanting. Throughout the party, Lily stayed quiet. She watched Rachel laughing with her friends. She watched everyone helping each other. She watched me serving food. There were no servants. No workers. Just family. As the party ended, Lily came over to me. She hugged me tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" I asked. "For teaching me something I should have learned years ago." Tears filled her eyes. "I was terrible to you." Then she looked toward Rachel. "And I was terrible to her too." "I'm sorry." I nodded. "I know. Can you forgive me?" "Someday," I said gently. "But trust takes time." Lily nodded. "I understand." Then she left. Rachel stood beside me and watched her drive away in her used Toyota. It was very different from the luxury cars she once owned. "Do you think she really changed?" Rachel asked. I thought carefully. I think losing everything gave her a chance to discover who she really is. And did she? That's up to her. Rachel smiled. "I hope she becomes better." "I hope so too." I wrapped my arm around her shoulders. I felt proud of the person she was becoming. She understood something many adults never learn. Money can disappear. Big houses can be lost. Fancy cars can be replaced. But kindness, honesty, and good character are worth more than any amount of money. Later, the mansion was sold at auction. Someone else bought it. Life moved on. Slowly, Lily and I rebuilt our relationship. Step by step. Little by little. My mother eventually admitted that I had been right. It took a long time, but she finally said it. And as for the bracelet Rachel had bought, Lily finally opened it on her next birthday. When she saw it, tears filled her eyes. She immediately put it on her wrist. From that day forward, she wore it every single day. Sometimes the hardest lessons teach us the most important things. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is the truth, even when hearing that truth hurts. In the end, everyone learned something valuable. And those lessons were worth more than any mansion, any luxury car, or any amount of money in the world.
अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं, गए जो दिन सहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं, तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा बेसर्द लगता है, दिल का हर एक कोना अब बहुत ही दूर बढ़ता है। अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं, गए जो दिन सुहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं, तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा सर्द लगता है, दिल का हर खोने की राहों में एक गम ही लिखा था। सितारों से भी पूछता है पता तेरा कहाँ होगा, मगर खामोश है दुनिया, कहाँ मेरा जहाँ होगा। बस एक बार मुड़ के देख ले मेरी बेबसी की सूरत। मुझे है आज भी तेरी वफा की सख्त जरूरत। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर, दर्द का असर।